again, top-notch texture class with myself, Amanda Tano, and Monica. Okay, so today we're going to really be talking about increasing the range of services and another source of income. Perming and texture and all these sorts of services are coming at a higher demand now. People are wanting to kind of reach out of the box and get some hair, just like these images up here. And I know that goes a lot with, styling and products and things as well. So we'll be talking about the products that can support that. Okay. So this is going to give you guys a really good understanding of becoming a more versatile stylist. Not everyone does perming or a Form 3D service. Okay. This is something that to do a perm, they're very simple. They're very, you wrap the perm, you apply the solution, it's a very simple product that you guys are able to use. And these perms are unlike any products that are on the market whatsoever. So if you guys are used to doing perms, these are going to be very special perm products for you guys, okay? It's gonna give you that modernized looks of today, the images that we see on social media, on Pinterest and things like that. And it's gonna give you that trends and those techniques to get you to that texture that you're wanting, okay? So I'll show you guys a couple new tools and things that maybe you guys aren't familiar with or haven't used in a perm like setting, okay? Who are perms made for? Perms are really made for that client that's going to want some volume in their hair. They're going to want that extra lift up in that crown area. They're going to want some extra lift if their hair's a little bit finer and they want that volume, not even just to come necessarily from the crown, but to also have that volume in through the perimeter of their hair as well, okay? Perms are going to be geared towards that client with gently highlighted hair. Perms really aren't catered to that client that has a full platinum head of color or of lightener on their head, okay? So the client with gently highlighted hair. Now, if they have highlighted hair, we're going to talk about ways to prep their hair also for these types of treatments if maybe their hair is a little bit more compromised or anything as well, okay? Perms are also made for that client that wants an easier way of styling. Maybe they're a client that wants to wash and go. Maybe they're that client that doesn't want to have to set their hair in curlers or a curling iron or anything like that, and you teach them a new avenue, okay? Clients a lot of times are coming in, and I know this is huge on social media, is heatless styling, okay? So maybe you give them a solution of doing these little the perm rods, right? And using these instead of traditional perm rods, okay? So it's gonna give them maybe more of a wash and go style with the support of some products as well, okay? This is also going to be a very trendy look for men and women. And you'll see, I feel like in some of the younger kids, or younger guys, they're wanting more curls or, like shaved up on the sides and they have more of the hair on top and they want some texture movement in there. Maybe it just kind of falls forward, things like that. And you'll see some images of what I'm talking about in that as well. So this is definitely something that isn't just more for your traditional clientele of perms. This is going to be something that you can, introduce to your clients from young to more mature to men and women, okay? Now, consultation is going to be something that is really huge when we're talking about perms. And things to consider during the consultation process are going to be if they do have highlights, okay? What is that texture of their hair? What is their goal for their hair long-term, right? If the client wants to go, like I said earlier, go platinum, it's not necessarily the service for them, okay? We can probably offer them something else, but maybe a perm isn't the best process. Sorry, guys. Okay. Now, another thing to consider during that perming process is also going to be the hair condition and prep for that improved condition. So doing things like Vitaplex, doing things like maybe wrapping your perm with protein additive, okay? Those are all going to support that process to give them the best perm possible as well. And at-home maintenance and aftercare products. That curly hair, especially if you guys tuned in last week to Nancy and Josh's class, that at-home maintenance is going to be essential for them to give them that best condition, enhance the curl, give them a really beautiful defined curl. So we'll talk about some products that are some of my favorites for aftercare to send home with them, okay? And we're gonna wanna talk about realistic expectations. A lot of times clients show us some images and pictures and we're like, okay, that is beautiful, but let's take into consideration, maybe there's editing in that photo. Maybe there's, a fan blowing behind them that you don't see, right? So we're going to be talking about realistic expectations and realistic results that they're going to achieve with this look. I apologize, guys. I know that's so annoying to hear in the screen. So traditional perms are going to have those harsh chemicals. We all know them. They're going to have that dry, that frizzy hair. They're not going to have that lush, that beautiful, subtly soft texture to the hair. They're going to be inconsistent and you're not going to have the results that you're wanting. Okay. So this is all perms that we are familiar with, that we have done in the salon, that we did in beauty school, that we are all familiar with. Okay. Affinage perms, ASP perms are none of those things. They are the most beautiful, the most conditioning, soft, natural looking perms that you have ever seen. Okay. And again, it's something that we're getting back to more texture, more movement, more soft looks. And this is something that's going to be a huge asset in the salon. Okay. You're going to get those natural balanced looking curls and movement. In the models of pictures that you guys will see, it looks like they naturally have that curly hair. And that's all that we want. We don't want anything that's, inconsistent or has an unbalanced texture to it, okay? They're super, super easy to use. The texture of the hair is actually going to be in an improved condition because of the ingredients and the extracts in it. So similar to how Infinity makes the hair feel so beautiful and luscious, the perms are going to make the hair feel the same exact way, which again is something that I know that we are not familiar with traditional perming products, okay? You also have the ability to color the same day with specific products. We have different demis and semi colors that we'll touch base on as well, that you can do the same exact day. And again, you get that beautiful, shiny, damage-free hair, okay? Any questions so far, Monica? Anything that's come up?
Nothing yet, babe.
Awesome, perfect. Okay, so different products that we're going to use. So in perms, traditionally, we have our traditional perm rods. These come in a multitude of sizes, okay? You can use them for tighter, shorter curls, okay? Because this curl is going to be tighter, more compact, it's going to give you that longer lasting effect and longevity in the hair, okay? This is also going to be really great for that volume on that fine hair. They're really looking for that expansion of the hair, and this is something that's going to be essential for that. We also have these little flexi rods, okay? I don't know if you guys are familiar with these or if you guys have ever used them, okay? I know we use them a lot in like styling shoots and things like that, but these are really, really great for that endless summer wave, okay? These are going to give you more of a longer curl, so it's going to not be so tight, not so compact like your traditional rods, so it's going to be a lot looser of a wave. And with these, you can push them, you can over direct them, you can, if you have someone with very, very long hair, you can kind of interloop two of them together and really create those long spindles, okay? You can also leave the ends out with these. So I'll show you a technique that I had done that I left some ends out, and it really just gave a beautiful, soft, very, social media, Instagrammable imagery of how the curl it looks, okay? So these little flexi rods, similar to traditional perm rods, they come in a multitude of different sizes, and you guys can kind of see how the imagery of those and how they look and the end result will be with those, okay? So again, you can see how they're elongated, definitely gonna be a softer, looser wave to the hair. Another tool that's essential with doing any of our perms is going to be protein additive. I know when I was asking some of the girls for imagery on our perms, this was something that was huge, okay? Because everyone uses it for that. If you guys are not familiar with protein additive, it's gonna have those vitamins and those antioxidants in it that are going to be conditioning and nourishing for the hair. It also has a really nice kind of a little bit of like a grip serum-y, like a face serum type texture to it. So it's going to make wrapping your perms so, so simple, so, so easy. It really holds in all those little hairs that kind of want to tend to poke out. So everything is really consistent, really even, and really easy to wrap your perms with. Monica, I know you do a lot of perming in the salon. Do you have anything else to say about protein additive?
No, I think you definitely nailed it. It just goes with the prep work ahead of time. Um, it really just helps to equalize the porosity of the hair as well, and just making sure that the perm is going to do its magic. And this is just like that safety net for it as well.
Totally. Yep. Perfect. So the way we use this is it comes in a pump bottle. You can either put it into a spray bottle if you'd like. I've definitely seen people do that. You can pump it into a bowl and use a bowl and a brush with it. You can pump it into, how I like to use it is I typically will pump it all into my hand and really work it and massage it through the hair. Obviously, we're putting this on hair that has been pre-cleansed. Okay, so I'm gonna be putting it on pre-cleansed hair, pump it into my hands, really massage it and run it through all the hair, comb it through so every little strand gets coated with it. And then I'll go through and section out and I'll reapply if needed, if it tends to get a little bit drier, or respray to kind of reactivate it as well. Okay, so during your perm process, those disulfide bonds are broken down and they will take on a new shape, okay? That is how we get that wave and that curl within the perm process, okay? Those disulfide bonds are running like horizontal ladders across the board. Vitaplex works along the amino acid chain, okay? So this amino acid chain is what's going to run up and down the hair cuticle, okay? So because Vitaplex works more along the amino acid chain and perms are broken down during the disulfide bonds, Vitaplex isn't going to be an assistant when you're working with perms. This is not something to mix into your perms, okay? This is something that's going to be used as a pre-treatment if you want to, if that hair maybe needs a little bit more of those bonds that are, maybe a little bit more of that damage on those bonds that are broken down. Vitaplex is going to prep the hair in those situations that you need a little bit more assistance, okay? So Vitaplex is not something that you mix into your perm solution. This is something that you do prior to your perming products, okay? And Vitaplex Part 3 is also a great addition to any of your perms as well, if they are needed, if it's needed, and this is something that could be done afterwards during the rinsing process, okay? But it's not necessary. So any of this Vitaplex is not necessary to do with your perms, but it's that great asset if you have a client wanting a perm and you need something to prep their hair prior, okay? So it's a great add-on service for it. Any questions about that? Everyone's good?
Yep, everyone's good.
So different perms for different clients. What are the different perming products that we carry at ASB? So the first one being Natural Curl. So this is going to be a Cysteamine permanent wave solution, okay? And this is going to come in 3 different specific lines as well, okay? So what I love so much about Natural Curl is that you're going to get that elasticity in the hair. You're going to get that perfect texture, that perfect curl, okay, with this. So again, system 1, oops, sorry here guys. So system 1 is going to be for your normal and resistant clients. System 2 is going to be for your tinted and chemically treated clients. And you have Natural Curl 3 for your fragile or highly processed clients, okay? So this is definitely gonna be more client specific for them. And I will say you get about 1 to 2 applications depending on how much hair they have and who you're working on, okay? So it's going to give you that curly, that bouncy, beautiful look. So the Cysteamine is a sulfur compound. It's going to combine the best features from both an acidic and an alkaline perm to give you the perfect balance, okay? These are going to be very gentle on the hair. Okay, so the hair is going to be in a stronger, better condition. And that is what sets us apart from any other perm solution that is on the market. Okay. So it also contains silk protein. So these silk proteins are going to boost that suppleness, boost that hydration, and you really just see that shimmer shine back at you, similar to how we visualize that in our Infinity Color. They also contain bamboo extract. So you're already getting something built into your perm solution that's going to give you that strength, that elasticity, that beautiful texture to the hair. Okay. And in some of our pictures in just a minute, you'll be able to see that and capture that and grasp that fully as well. Okay. So again, the key benefits to this, you're going to have those silk proteins, the suppleness, the hydration. You're going to have that bamboo extract in it, which is going to give you that strength in the hair, very low ammonia, very, very gentle on the hair. What also sets us apart is that we do not have to do a test curl. So long are the days that you're kind of unwrapping your perm, testing to where it's at. It's fully done on a specific timing processing, okay? So each one for your natural curl 1, you'll process for 15 minutes. Your natural curl 2, process for 10 minutes. Your natural curl 3, process for 10 minutes, okay? You no longer have to do a little test curl. So I love that. So, it saves time behind the chair as well. They also contain a near neutral pH, and they are going to be color safe. Okay. Again, perm size, the solution is 100 milliliters. So if you guys are familiar and you're doing a lot of perm, these will go on 1 to 2 clients. Okay. So this was actually Monica's image. So Monica, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about your client.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda. Just really quick, there was a question on here from Viv. What does it smell like? The smell is far better than traditional perms. It's a very light scent to it. So there is a scent, but it's not like that harsh traditional perm smell.
It's not chemically smelling, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
Like a chemical perfume or versus like a more natural perfume. I'm not saying this is anywhere near natural, but it definitely doesn't have that chemical smell to it.
The tinge to it that lingers. Yeah, definitely. So going to the images here, I did a natural curl on the first model where you see the cape of Affinage on there. We did the natural 2 on her. It's for tinted hair. She had some like lowlights. You can see a little bit of highlights in her hair. We processed it for 10 minutes. With this one, I did the flexi rods. I did the large, the colors that I had were blue, but it's one of your larger perm rods. I mean, it really gave her like the body that she was looking for, but she really wanted something that looked natural, more of a like beach wave. She can kind of wash and go, let it air dry. And this was actually right after the perm. And you can see that it's not that really tight, that sometimes a lot of us are scared to do perms because we feel like it's going to be a very tight, kinky perm. It's not necessarily that. The flexi rods really give you the versatility to be able to get creative with it and then give something that looks more natural.
Yeah, that's what I love so much about the flexi rods. It totally revolutionizes how we traditionally think about perms, but it's all the imagery that we see on social media and everything that this is very realistic. Like I want this perm. Like
yeah, for sure. Definitely. And then my second model here, this young lady, she has I would say the first 4, I would say, hold on, let me move this. No, 4 to 6 inches from her root that's her natural curl. And so the ends from blow drying and flat ironing it had really just straightened out on her. So we did a perm on her, obviously, to be able to bring that back. But I use now the traditional rods, the hard rods. I wanted to make sure that I got the curl really tight so that it blended in. And then I just piggybacked them as I went, as I got closer to the root. I stayed off of her natural root because I wanted to make sure that it just blended. I didn't want to recreate or reshape her natural curl. I just wanted to give her natural curl from roots to end. So that's what we did there.
Awesome. Love it.
We have a question on here. Did I use end papers with the flexi rods? I did not. That's a really good question. Thank you, Nancy. So on the first model where I have the more of a wave, I did not use the end papers. I did do it, especially with doing piggyback. It really helped to just keep the section like in the in a wrapping shape, I guess. I don't know how to better explain that.
I
And
think
then with
it's
both of them,
easier.
uh-huh.
I think it's easier, sorry not to cut in, but I think
I
it's
know.
easier to, just like you said, on traditional rods, you're really pulling it through the ends and you're wanting that tight tension to roll. With the flexi rods, I don't find that you're doing that heavy of a tension. And you want that looser. So I don't feel, that's funny. I didn't even realize that I did that, but I don't gravitate towards end papers with the flexi rods either.
Yeah, definitely. And we, or the another reason I don't feel like I need to use them is I just always use protein additive. And like Amanda said, it's a very like the feeling to it's different. It's almost like sometimes I feel like, oh, it just feels like water, but then other times I feel like it has some sort of like hold that it feels like it has. So when I put that in the hair, that really helps to keep those flexi rods and the hair in place versus having to use the end papers.
The protein additive, um, a lot of us are women. We probably use like a vitamin C serum. I would say that's like the best comparison that I can make. It almost like when you put that serum on, you're like, oh, it feels really nice. And then you're like, oh, it kind of has a little bit of like stick to it. I find that that's what the protein additive kind of feels like, which really helps keep those little baby hairs like tight together when you're wrapping.
Yeah, that's a perfect description of the feel of it.
Yeah. Awesome. Love those. So beautiful imagery. And that image on the right, that looks so much like her natural. I love that that you were able to give her her natural wave. Because we all know what it's like, right? That curly hair is so stretched out and it's been stretched out, too many times pulling and flat ironing and blow drying that you were able to recreate that and give her that bounce back up.
Definitely. And then a client like that would really be, or a guest like that would really be the opportunity where, like you mentioned earlier, maybe doing the Vitaplex ahead of time. If you notice that her hair was like very processed, hers was just a little, like I said, stretched out from just regular styling. I didn't feel the need for it. But then she did have the aftercare to take home to make sure that this perm stayed in and the ends really took the perm.
Awesome. I love it. Super beautiful. So now this is more of a traditional perm. Okay, so this is from another one of our educators, Kristen Wilden. She had, as you can see, she just wanted more of that volume. She did a very traditional perm. She used natural curl too. Okay, she did a traditional brick lay with this. She is one that said 100%, I always use protein additive. And she processed for 10 minutes. Sorry, guys. So this is her after effect. So this was a mannequin that I had done for you guys. And I wanted to show you those flexi rods in action. Okay. And here is the after result. So you can see that she has tons of bounce, tons of wave. It's very natural looking. Okay. And this is something where I kind of pulled it off the scalp a little bit. I didn't necessarily want the mannequin to have a lot of volume. I wanted her to have more of that volume along that perimeter and along that expansion of it. Okay. So I wasn't looking for the volume to necessarily come from the scalp. I was looking for it more around the perimeter. Okay.
I love that you did this as an example, Amanda, because I think a lot of times with perms, we're afraid of taking like thick sections.
Yeah.
And again, that's where the flexi rods really help out with that because you're able to really, as long as we make sure we saturate with our solution, taking large sections will give you more of those natural waves. And we can start to kind of show our clients another side to perms. It's not necessarily only and always that really tight curl. So I love that you did those large sections.
Yeah. And you know what? It really took a matter of minutes to wrap it. It was something that was very, very simple. You guys can see they're not very tight. I wanted to make it, just more natural. And I did it the same way that I would curl her. So I rolled all of these back away from the face and I rotated on the top. So she would have those movements kind of flowing backwards. So this is something that's very simple. Again, you could do this on a younger client that wants more of that softness, but wants a little bit more of that wash and go look. And it would be a great, great thing to revenue wise to add on, right? something that maybe takes this whole service, maybe takes about 45 minutes, and you can charge upwards of 100, 150, $200. And that's a great source of, additional revenue for a very short amount of time, but it's a specialty. Not everyone is offering, a perm or a texture treatment anymore. And you don't necessarily have to call it, a perm. You can say a texture treatment or, you know, I don't know, however you want to market it as that, but it doesn't necessarily just have to be categorized as just a perm, because I think this is so much more than, a traditional perm is. Awesome. So next up, maybe if you have a clientele that maybe will do a perm every so often, and you don't necessarily want to carry a 1, 2, and a 3, you want a one size fits all. So we created Perfect Curl for that. Okay. Perfect Curl is exactly what it says. It is the perfect curl for any type of client. Okay. So it's going to create those defined, resilient curls, waves, or volume with Perfect Curl. Okay. Again, it's one formula for all of your clients. Okay. It's going to have a buffered pH, which is going to leave the hair in the best condition. Okay. You're going to get true to rod results every single time. Okay. And you're going to have a conditioning formula because of that bamboo extract that's going to give them that long lasting body, bounce, shine, and elasticity. Okay. The key benefits to Perfect Curl, it's a cysteine amino acid formula. Okay. So it's going to give you that improved curl retention and that cuticle condition. Similar to the previous perm, okay, this is also going to have that bamboo extract, and we talked about how that is going to improve the strength of the hair. Okay, so no more frizzy curl perms. Okay, that buffered pH is going to be a controlled pH. Okay, so it's going to give us reliable, even results. And it also is going to contain special moisturizers to give it a long-lasting shine. And you'll see that shine in some of the images that we have coming up. Again, it's a balanced curl formulation, true to rod results. And this is also going to contain an advanced deodorizer for less after perm color. So I feel like after you do a traditional perm, every time you wash it, it kind of, that smell like reactivates. You don't get that with Perfect Curl. Okay. So again, it's definitely going to be more of a balanced smell, and not so much of that like bite, that chemical of a traditional perm. This is going to come in the same exact size. So it's going to be that 100 milliliter. So you have the ability to have this one box and keep it, right? If you use it one time on your client and maybe you don't do another perm for 6 months, it'll still be okay. And you can keep that solution in your cabinet for the next time that you do another one. Okay.
Just want to add a little tip to that. Whenever I do use the Perfect Curl, it's always nice to like leave the date on it, like on the box.
Yeah.
I'll write the date of when it was open. That way, you know that, the shelf life of it. And then also, I've noticed in my experience with the Perfect Curl, you could do either one perm, so like a large or longer haired perm. But if we're doing like a short styled or short length hair,
Yeah.
for a perm, I've even been able to do anywhere from 2 to 3 perms with the Perfect Curl.
Perfect. Awesome. So the different processing time is going to be 10 to 15 for tinted and porous. It's going to be 15 to 20 minutes for normal and 20 to 30 minutes for your resistant. Okay. So this is where you can just do a little test curl, see if you're done processing, and then proceed on with your neutralizer. Okay. So this is going to be more of your traditional product for your clients. Okay. So it's going to be that cysteine amino acid complex perm solution. Okay. So this amino acid formula is really going to protect that inner structure of the hair. We talked about earlier that Vitaplex really goes in along those amino acid chains, and that's where the Perfect Curl is going to give you that support as well, which is why we don't need anything in addition to any of those products mixed in with our solutions. Okay. Again, it's going to leave the hair in the great condition, super shiny. You're going to have that bamboo extract for that improved strength and elasticity. Okay. So Monica, this is also your client. Want to talk about her for a sec?
Yep. With this one, I did similar to the image you showed with the doll head. I did larger sections. And then I actually alternated the flexi rods, but I also did a few like kind of Yeah, well, just alternating it with the hard plastic rods, and they were like the peach color, so they're also like larger. And then I just brick laid it as I went through her hair. But I mean, this was a super quick service because it was larger sections. And again, don't be afraid to do that. I can't reiterate that enough. I think a lot of the times it's just like, oh, you have to take thin section, make sure every hair is permed. But sometimes that soft, messy look is what is requested, and really the result looks very natural to her.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. This is such a look that is wash and go. I mean, or a little bit of diffusing and things like that. And she could totally wear this the whole time through and be so comfortable with it. I love that. So this is where we talked about earlier, doing it on, diversifying your clients. And this was a young kid that came in. I don't think Kristen's on the call. If she is, speak up. But this was something where you diversify your clientele with it, right? She did a nice cut on him. He wanted some texture. He wanted some curl. He, very trendy, very up to date. She always, again, uses that protein additive, and she used the pink and gray rods. Okay, so she intertwined them and did a traditional lay with that. She used Perfect Curl process for 15 to 20 minutes. And you can see it totally revamped his style from, something that laid a little bit flatter, didn't have much movement in it. You can tell it's just that soft hair that just is going to style into whatever it wants to be, but it needs to be styled, right? And with the perm solution and giving him some waves and textures, she totally just changed his entire look. And this is something that's going to softly fade out. It's not going to have that heavy, heavy, harsh of a grow out. And it's also something that she can, as it is growing out, reperm, right? So I love this. I think it's a great way to really diversify your clientele behind the chair and add on services. Again, this service probably took, you're only rolling the mohawk section. You can roll that in 10 minutes, right? Process for 15, 20. Right there, you're at a half hour. Rinse, by the time you neutralize and rinse, it's something that'll take under an hour. You can get them in for a haircut and a perm in under an hour, and you just maybe doubled or tripled your ticket price, right? So it's all about me being more efficient behind the chair. We all work behind the chair, and we want to make that happen. Okay. Now, this is something that I do a lot of, is perming extensions. And this is no disclaimer to extensions. I can't guarantee how long they will last from this. This is just a service that I like to add on because it's something that I see the benefit in. And so on the left here, you have our extensions. You can see that's just how they came, packaged up on the top left. The bottom left, that was after I cleansed them. So you can see they really have no wave. They have no movement to them. They are just very straight and soft, right? So I use the flexi rods with these. And this technique, I really just wrapped it halfway up. I put protein additive on it, and I wrapped it halfway up the hair. So leaving those ends out are going to give you more of that very modernized look of, really soft waves with more of straight ends that we see all over social media. Okay. This look with the flexi rods, doing this with the Perfect Curl takes 20 minutes, right? On the right, this is afterwards. So you can totally just see the extensions. For being extension hair, we know how quickly they lose shine and can be broken down. You can still see the shine. You can still see the reflection. And it's a great add-on service to clients with extensions. Clients that have that curly textured hair, a lot of times can't do extensions, right? And they want more fullness. Maybe they have finer curly hair. If you guys attended Nancy's class last week, curly hair comes on everyone, right? In all different curl shapes and curl patterns and things like that. So I've worked with extension brands that have offered a curly version, and it's not a curly version. It's nothing that resonates with my clientele. So this gives me the option of maybe doing, if they have a tighter curl, maybe I'm going to wrap it with a traditional perm rod. I have done that too. But if I want something that has a softer wave to it, I'm going to use the flexi rods, and it's a great option. I actually put them in my hair, right? It's a really great way to just incorporate in the perm process on those extensions. So I hope you guys find this helpful. I encourage you guys, if you haven't played with this, to play with it and to use it this way. Any questions, Monica?
Yes, perfect. So we have a question. Have you used this perm on blonde extensions too?
I haven't done it on like a 613 or a 60, like a platinum. I have not done it on that, but I've done it on like a blend of like a 6138 or whatever it may be in your extension brand. I've done it on those and it works beautifully as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Again, you're putting that protein additive in and or on the hair. And so that's going to give you that ability to give you that more control with it. And also what I love about using the flexi rods and leaving the ends out is traditionally just like hair that's on our head, growing from our head, the ends tend to be a little bit more compromised as well from heat, color, whatever it may be. So by leaving the ends out of the extensions, just gives you a little bit more of a security net in allowing no damage to happen. So I find that helps too. And I would definitely recommend that on more of your blonder extensions as well. But how beautiful to be able to give this option to our clients that already have naturally curly hair, right? Someone that maybe is a little bit finer and wants more texture or wants more fullness. Okay. So I love that. Any other questions on that, Monica? Yeah, perfect. All right, let's talk a little bit about coloring post perm. Hot Shots. Hot Shots is a great addition to post perm coloring. Okay, Hot Shots are going to be your ultra conditioning semi-permanent color. They contain a color lock system in it. They contain shea butter and argan oil, and they are ammonia and peroxide free. This is something that's going to last in the hair about 6 to 10 shampoos, but can become more of a longer lasting effect the more that you layer it on the hair. Okay, so these are something that you can overlay if they've done their color previously, if they already have a root color and they want a little something extra. This is something where you can overlay the Hot Shots on that as well. Color Dynamics is also a great way to introduce some tones into the hair. So Color Dynamics are going to be a little bit more of your fashion type colors, but you'll see on the next slide, I love using the Color Dynamics in a more traditional way. So on my client here at the bottom, I mixed Mango Smoothie with a little bit of blush and just gave her a beautiful overlay. So this is something that can be done straight at the bowl, okay? And then your Hot Shots is going to be a little bit more of your traditional colors, some of your brunettes, some of your coppers. Okay, so on your traditional clients, this is something that would be great. It's going to give them a gray blending as well with the Hot Shots. Okay, so about 20% gray blending. If they're maybe in between their color service, but they need a little something and they're just coming in that day, you could use something like hot chocolate, blend in their grays a little bit, and they would have a full service from perm to color all done in one shot in about hour and a half. Okay, so I love that option as well. And ASP Satin is also a great addition. So this is going to be our semi-permanent line. So satin comes in 20 different intermixable tones and shades. Okay, so this is something that's just going to really assist with that shine, that integrity of the hair, the beautiful suppleness of the hair. Okay, this is also going to give you a great blending. You can get pretty good coverage. Per manufacturer, we typically say about 50% gray blending, but just depending upon the texture and the coarseness of the hair, you'll get a little bit more or less. Okay, but again, these are really great products to assist with the same perm day coloring solutions. Okay, give them a full process all in one day. Any questions on those products specifically? Or anything you want to add, Monica?
No, I just threw in the chat mark. Can you imagine texture and like the fashion shades? Like, oh, that would be so
Yeah,
easy.
so beautiful. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about styling post-perm service as well. So just to give your client that support of now you've just given them the perm, now you just have given them a texture service, whether it be, beautifully done with the flexi rods or in a traditional way with your traditional perm rods as well. So Kotoko oil, we always talk about this as this being the liquid gold, the holy grail of all our styling products. So Kotoko oil is really just going to assist with that shine, that just that beautiful softness to the hair. What I love so much about Kotoko oil is that it is cold pressed. So unlike traditional oils, it's not just going to sit on the hair. That oil that just sits on the hair weighs down that hair, gives it that heaviness. We want our curls to be luscious and full and bouncy. Kotoko oil is going to assist in that 10 times over. So Kotoko oil is going to soak right into that hair and give them beautiful results, whether they apply it on damp hair or on dry hair. I love telling my curly clients that use Kotoko oil, when your hair's dry, right? That second day, that third day, take some Kotoko oil, run it through your hands, and really just work it through your hair and redefine those curls. So this is something that's going to be really, really beautiful for those clients. Okay. We also want to make sure that they're going home with professional shampoo and conditioner, no matter what that may be within the ASP range, whether it's Mode Color Care shampoo and conditioner, or you can also do any of the Kotoko regimens as well. The oil treatment would be beautiful on any canvas of hair as well, and that would just give you the perfect pairing in with the Kotoko oil as well. I also love active reconstructant for my curly clients, especially when I'm doing any perms or texture treatments on them. I love the active reconstructant, one for the smell. It has a beautiful, fresh smell to it. And this is something that can be, again, perfect for the male or female. It's a little musky, a little floral, just a beautiful, clean smell, and a natural, clean smell. And it's also going to have those vitamins, those antioxidants in it, which is just going to nourish that hair and give it that life and just like that love that it wants, right? I specifically tell them to use the active reconstructant. Yes, when it's damp. Yes, when you're styling that first time after washing. But it's also going to be great for that second, third day hair when they need a little bit more life to it. They need a little bit more moisture. Maybe they slept on it funny, whatever it may be, caught it in a pone, whatever it may be. I'm going to spray that active reconstructant on and just bring it back to life. I think that it's a beautiful product to retail to them for that. Okay. And they have that assistance not only when it's damp, but also when it's dry, again, on that second, third day hair. Okay. Just a nice freshener. Another product that definitely is going home with them is going to be the volumizing souffle. So yes, we are doing maybe a perm or texture service to give them that volume. Why not give them something to support that as well? This volumizing souffle is actually going to contain date in it. So dates we naturally know are fatty, are more, filling. So that date in this volumizing souffle is naturally going to fill up that hair. What's so beautiful about that is traditional and volumizing products blast open that cuticle, and then we have color fadage. Well, we don't want color fadage. We don't want that perm to be compromised, right? So this is naturally going to use that date to fluff up that hair. Again, this is something that I tell them to use, yes, on damp hair, but also for the support of that dry hair, that second, third day hair when they need to redefine that curl. I think this is something that's so beautifully paired in with the Kotoko oil, or if they want something softer, if they want something more to have that like luscious curl that they can like run their hands through, this is something that's going to assist that. It's not going to be like a sticky hold, which I love so much about it. It's not like a traditional mousse in that sense. It's going to be a more, I don't know, it's not sticky, but it definitely has some hold to it. So it's going to give them a beautiful defined curl. Anything you want to add to that, Monica?
Something I noticed when I first started using the volumizing souffle versus like your traditional like root boost or something like type of product like
Traditional,
that
yeah, mousse.
is that it doesn't like feel crunchy as soon as like you put it on and you're like going through your blow dry or your style and the root or the product's already like stiffened the hair.
Yeah.
This is like when it says flexible, it really is. It's just the way that it works in the hair. Um, it's very different than many volumizing products out there.
And because it's so different and because it doesn't have those heavy alcohols in it or anything like that, so not only is it not going to be drying out on the hair, but it's also not going to flake. There's nothing worse than having that product that like flakes off. Volumizing souffle is not going to give them that flakiness, and it's just going to be so great in assisting their styling at home. Another huge product that is definitely going home with them is going to be the Curl Booster from Kitoko Art. Again, it's going to be a beautiful, fresh smelling scent to it. But again, not with those heavy alcohols or anything in it that's going to be drying. We don't want those curls to dry out. We want them to stay luscious. And this Curl Booster is going to give them that weightless bounce. So it's going to just enhance anything that's curly and just give it that boost it needs. Like if you guys can think back to Monica's style or Monica's client that had the ends that needed a little bit of assistance, they needed a little bit more love, a little bit more of that curl to it, but the top wasn't her natural curl. This would be a beautiful product for her to run through roots to ends and give her that bounce that it needs. So not only are you going to assist that artificial curl that we created, but you're going to assist that natural curl that's already naturally in her hair. So super beautiful product. Again, this is not going to be a product that's going to be crunchy. It's going to be a beautiful, creamy, more of a balmy kind of texture to it. It's going to contain those anti-frizz properties, humidity protection, which is huge for anyone with that curly, bouncy hair. And again, it's going to have those antioxidants in it and UV filters, which is beautiful as well. Okay.
I have to cut in real quick. This has been one of the best selling like curl booster creams. When you say the anti-frizz, it really makes a difference. It just defines the curls, and many naturally like just whether they're perm, but even like naturally curly guests have always said that this product just makes their hair feel natural, like they love their curls again. You know, there's like sometimes I know we're talking of perms and texture, but there's guests that have natural curl, they're like, oh, I just don't like it because I can't maintain it. This has changed that for them.
Awesome. I love that. Great. So those are some of my products that I tend to gravitate towards anytime I'm working with someone with those perms and that texture of hair. Any questions on perms or anything before we kind of jump onto the next topic? We're going to talk a little bit more about Form 3D. So it's a little bit different of a product, but still a texture product. So anything on perms, any questions that you guys have?
No questions so far, but everybody's loving the Kitoko Art products, the Volume Souffle and the Curl Booster. It's just, they really are amazing for curly hair.
Good. I'm glad you guys love them as much as we do. So Form 3D, this is a product that is so unique to ASP. It is such a beautifully made product. It is so underused, and it is such a great product for you guys to be introduced to. So I'm really excited for you guys to show it. We have some awesome imagery for it as well, and a couple clients. So what is Form 3D? So Form 3D is going to be your redirectional sculpting system. Okay, so think of it being a calic remover. Think of it as being a way to, redirecting so you can enhance curl or weave within the hair as well with Form 3D. Okay, so this is something that's going to be a huge asset in your salon. It's an advanced cysteamine formula as well. So before we talked about that, the cysteamine and the acid being a full balance. So this is going to give you that full balance formula. This is also going to contain bamboo for maximum flexibility, strength, and condition of the hair. So you guys kind of all see a pattern with this. We love that beautiful, healthy hair. There's nothing more that we want to work on than that beautiful, healthy hair. Okay, what does Form 3D do? Form 3D is going to rework the hair into what we want it to do. Root lift. Okay, how many times do we have clients that come in or ourselves that are like, oh, I just need more volume. Like, what else can I do? Do I put in hot roller? Like, what do I do at home? Well, this is something that you can do in the salon that they can work their hair 10 times easier at home for them. Okay. You're no more going to have funky cowlicks, funky fringes, funky hairlines. You know, those clients that you get in and you do a really cool bob or a really cool undercut, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I didn't take into account like your hairline, like you have hair that wraps in 20 different directions. This is something that is going to give you that perfect cut, that perfect style, exactly how you want, and they can recreate it at home, which is something that is so awesome, right? It's suitable on any client, depending on what you're trying to do. You can use it on any client that you have. Okay. I know we all have that client that we're like, oh yeah, I hate Susie's hair. You know, she has a funky look to it, or I have to blow dry her bangs this way, or they're not gonna, do what they want. They're gonna stick straight out. It's suitable for any client. Okay. This service is also going to last in the hair for about 4 to 6 weeks. Again, it's going to depend on how much they're washing their hair, what they're washing it with. So we're going to want to talk about that and have that realistic conversation with them behind the chair when we're working on them. Okay. And this is a quick service add-on, and it is something that you can do in under 25 minutes. I'll show you a model or client that I have that I do it for her cowlick and back. And I really book on an extra 15 minutes. Like I don't need any more time than that. Like, and it's such a great way to add on, $50, $75, whatever it may be in your guys' territory. It's a great way to add on to your ticket price. Okay. So this is Carla. Carla comes in. She has baby fine hair, baby fine hair. She's always wanting more volume. And she has this cowlick that's deep in the back that we are also familiar with, that she cannot get it to lay the way she wants it to. So Form 3D to the rescue, right? So Form 3D comes in two different treatments. You have a normal or color treated boxes. Okay. So you can see here at the bottom, you have your white box and you have your black box. Your black box is going to be your color treated. Your white box is going to be your normal, untreated, uncolor treated product. Okay. You have a cream for your part 1, and you have your neutralizer in your part 2, which is in that little bottle. Okay. So using Form 3D, we squeeze part 1 into our bowl. We mix it up in our bowl, and that kind of activates all the ingredients together. Okay. You're simply going to apply it where you want it. Okay. So I apply it right to that section that she has that funky cowlick. And we are going to process her for 5 minutes because she has color treated hair. If she was not color treated, then it would be 10-minute processing time. Okay. So very, very quick. And it's just going to restructure everything within the hair. Okay. With Form 3D, we don't want to apply too much tension. So this isn't something that we're going to be applying maybe perm rods with, but this is something that you can do really beautiful, like French braids or fishtail braids, or, you could use like the flexi rods with it if you'd like. You can set really beautiful like finger waves with this too. That would be really great in someone's hair as well. Okay, so no tension, and we are just going to lay the hair where we want it to go. So after we're done processing, we're going to rinse that hair out for about 5 minutes. Okay, just rinse nice cool water. And we're going to towel dry that and apply our part 2, which is the sculpting fix. This is going to lock in that style. Okay. And then you're going to style the hair in the desired result. So if you're going in and like on Carla, we're trying to blow dry out that cowlick, I'm just going to lay her hair back exactly where I want it. Now, if I was going to create volume in someone's hair, maybe I lay it over a like Velcro roller, and I'm just going to style it in that exact way that it's going to lay. And then for 4 to 6 weeks, they have cowlick free hair. So you guys can see the difference right off the bat. So here it is. Get to her before picture. So she has a deep inset of that cowlick, and it is very hard to manage. We tried teasing, we tried all the things. When Form 3D came into play, it was a beautiful product that gives her that longer lasting result for until the next time she comes in for her color. Okay. There's no washing or re-wetting for 48 hours post doing a Form 3D service. Okay. Typically, we don't find that hard with clients in the chair. They usually are not washing for a day or two after. So again, just no washing, no rewetting for 48 hours. Okay. Here's another before and after that. This was actually Monica's client. Do you want to talk about it, Monica?
Sure. This is one of those clients that absolutely hate the most beautiful curl, like wave that he has to his hair. He has all this great volume and wants nothing to do with it, but doesn't want it to be like super flat from like a permanent straightening. So this is where Form 3D again comes to the rescue, and we're just able to really use the Form 3D, but now the one for natural hair, not the tinted or colored hair. We applied it on. You notice I literally just slicked it back. It was not this like crazy service. I mean, it was a quick application, put it on. And then once we processed for 10 minutes, we rinsed, we blow dried with the second part in it. And this is the volume that you have. I mean, he's able to create that very like trendy undercut pompadour type style, very dapper, but he has the volume, and this is now with a full blow dry. And this last picture was actually after coming in for his following haircut. He's one of those amazing clients that's every 2 weeks he wants to get the sides cleaned up, but you can see how now he has different styles to it. But where's the curl? You know, it's not necessarily there, and the volume is definitely still there for him. So this is one of my favorite before and afters to show when it comes to Form 3D.
I know when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what we want. And again, it's just creating that versatility. Form 3D, we think of, calyx and things like that is just predominantly female, but men want an easier way of styling as well. He doesn't want to have to go in and blow dry it out every single day and get the look that he wants. You're able to give him that trendy type look by doing a Form 3D service. That's going to take, he processes for 10 minutes. That's going to take an extra 20 minutes, for you doing behind the chair on top of his haircut versus him having to spend that 20 minutes every single day when he's at home styling. So the way Monica smoothed his hair out in the top right picture as well, after that product was on, this can be used as like a smoothing type treatment as well on someone's hair behind the chair as well. So if you're working, with someone that doesn't want that wave necessarily, or wants something that is a little bit easier to maintain at home, and they want to go away from that curl, someone can also do it with, shorter length hair, shorter length wavy hair as well in this sense, and smooth it out. So I love that. Again, I love this model. I love how, it's very relatable on a guy, especially with the pompadours and things. How many times do we, for those of you that do men's cutting or styling, they have that hair that just falls straight forward, right? And it just falls into their eyes, and maybe they want it to spike up, or maybe they want to have it in a pompadour setting. This would be great for them as well. If you guys think back to the male model for the perm, right? We talked about his hair just kind of like, you could tell it's that soft hair that just like falls flat. You could do a Form 3D on him as well and create like a spiky look, or create, like a hard part and things like that as well. So it's a very versatile product, which I love so much about it. But I hope you guys, get inspired to use this Form 3D and get into playing with it and get into using it. Again, doing it on fringe. How many times we all have that client that wants like a straight across bang, especially coming into wintertime now, bangs or heavier fringe is definitely more popular, or even like a side bang, and they just split or they stick straight out. This is a great service to add on for that client to give them realistic results at home in, 15, 20 minutes, so it's not necessarily working harder. It's just working more efficient, right? And we're all about working more efficient behind the chair.
100% well said, Amanda. This is definitely a game changer product. In our chat here, we wanted to see if we can go back to the image of what the product actually looks like on the Form 3D, so we could show part 1 and part 2. I think we just passed it. If you want to go back, there we go.
Best picture. Yep. So for part 1 is going to be in your tube, similar to like a color tube. And then your part 2 is going to have that little, it's going to be liquid. So it's going to be very easy. It's a little like tonic bottle. Twist off the little cap and then apply it right on the hair. So that's going to be like your neutralizer in, if you think of it like a perm solution. Okay. Awesome. Get back here. Awesome, you guys. So really that is all that we have for you guys today. I hope this inspired you. I hope this encouraged you guys to kind of get out of the box a little bit, do things that we're maybe not used to doing behind the chair, giving your clients something new, something different. That always excites us working behind the chair. And I hope you guys learned something new. If you guys learned something new, pop it into the chat. I'd love to hear what it is. And another way to connect with us is to find us on social media. We're at ASP Affinage America on Instagram, ASP Affinage America on Facebook, and ASP Affinage America on YouTube.
Amanda, can I add something?
Of course.
We are in a process right now of changing to